Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. Both houses of Parliament adjourned till 2 p.m. following disruptions by opposition over Pegasus snooping and farm laws. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch E-Rupee, a cashless and contactless instrument for digital payments this afternoon. Prime Minister to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Gujarat tomorrow through video conferencing. President Ramnath Kovind reaches Chennai on a 5-day tour of Tamil Nadu. The 10-day monsoon session of Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly begins. India takes over UN Security Council presidency for August. More than 47 crore 22 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. National COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 97.35%. Educational institutions reopen in several states today. And in Tokyo Olympics, Indian women's hockey team scripts history today by qualifying for the Olympic Games semi-finals for the first time, and India's Kamalpreet Kaur to participate in the final of women's discus throw at Tokyo Games this evening. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. And now the news. Both houses of Parliament were adjourned till 2 p.m. following continuous disruptions by opposition members over Pegasus snooping and farm laws. In the Lok Sabha, when the House met after the first adjournment at 12 noon, members from the Congress, TMC, Left and others again trooped into the well, raising slogans. In the din, Tribunals Reforms Bill 2021 was introduced in the House. As the pandemonium continued, the presiding officer adjourned the House till 2 p.m. Earlier, when the House met for the day, opposition members tried to raise issues related to Pegasus snooping and farm laws and created uproar. Amid the ruckus, Speaker Om Birla tried to run the question hour, urging the agitating members to go back to their seats and allow the House to function. As the members continued their sloganeering by showing placards, the Speaker adjourned the House till 12 noon. Similar scenes were witnessed in the Rajya Sabha when the House reassembled at 12 noon. Opposition members from the Congress, TMC, Left and Aam Aadmi Party again came into the well and continued with the demand for discussion over Pegasus snooping and farm laws. Members from SP, BSP, Shiv Sena and NCP were also on their feet. Amid uproar, Deputy Chairman Harivansh tried to run the question hour, but in vain. Later, he adjourned the House till 2 p.m. In the morning, when the House met for the day, the same situation prevailed. Opposition members had given adjournment notices which were rejected by Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu. As members continued to press their demand, the Chairman adjourned the House till 12 noon. Earlier, both houses congratulated badminton player P.V. Sindhu for winning the bronze medal in the Tokyo Olympics.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman today said, through All India Radio and Doordarshan and other media, information is being disseminated to ensure that financial assistance reaches people in the remote areas. She said as on January 31st this year, 58,114 crore rupees have been distributed in Gujarat under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana since the inception of the scheme in April 2015. Replying to supplementaries in the Lok Sabha, Ms. Sitharaman said over 84.46 lakh loans have been disbursed in Gujarat. She said Mudra loans are available for manufacturing, trading, services and activities linked to agriculture. She informed the House that in this scheme, lending institutions have been advised not to insist on any security. Ms. Sitharaman informed the House that the government allocates annual targets regarding the amount to be sanctioned under Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana to member lending institutions, MLIS, scheduled commercial banks, regional rural banks, non-banking financial institutions and microfinance institutions. She informed the House for the current financial year, a target of sanction of 3 lakh crore rupees has been fixed for MLIS. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today said that the government has adopted an effective integrated strategy to rationalize the prices of its advertisements. Replying to supplementaries in the Rajya Sabha, he said that before 2014, ministries used to give separate advertisements with regard to leaders and eminent personalities, which have been rationalized. He said that the integrated advertisement has reduced the cost and also enhanced the reach.
Tourism Minister G. Kishan Reddy said that meetings, incentives, conventions and exhibitions, MICE, are recognized as niche tourism product to overcome seasonality and promote India as a 365-day tourism destination. Replying to a question in the Lok Sabha today, Minister said to position India as the MICE destination, the government has formulated a draft national strategy and roadmap. Mr. Reddy said the draft covers key topics like institutional support, developing ecosystem, enhance competitiveness, enhance ease of doing business, marketing India and skill development for MICE industry. He informed the House that a study has estimated 0.96% as India's share of the global MICE industry. The Tourism Ministry invited feedback, comments and suggestions from the public and stakeholders on the draft national strategy and roadmap to make it more comprehensive. The government has shifted the Great Andamanese tribe to protect their tribal settlement at Strait Island from the spread of coronavirus. In a written reply in the Lok Sabha, the Minister of State for Tribal Affairs, Ms. Renuka Singh Saruta, today said that they were shifted to a prohibited zone, which has been declared as tribal reserve, and entry of any outsider has been prohibited and punishable. She said Andaman and Nicobar Islands administration reported that 11 Great Andamanese tribes had tested COVID-19 positive with mild symptoms or asymptomatic in the first wave of COVID-19 pandemic. They were treated in GB Pant Hospital, Port Blair out of 56 as an abundant precaution, and some were kept in home isolation.
President Ramnath Kovind arrived in Chennai this afternoon on a 5-day official tour to Tamil Nadu. He was received at the airport by the State Governor Banwarilal Purohit, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and senior officials. President Kovind will be attending the centenary celebrations of the State Legislative Assembly in Chennai this evening. In the function, he is scheduled to unveil the portrait of the former Chief Minister and DMK President M. Karunanidhi in the Assembly building. On Wednesday, President Kovind will address the officials undergoing training in the Defence Services Staff College at Wellington in the Nilgiris district. More from our correspondent.
The Tamil Nadu Assembly in Chennai is all decked up for the historic occasion of the celebration of its centenary year. It is on this day in 1921 when the first meeting of the newly constituted Madras Legislative Council was held. Historic legislations were enacted in the House for over 100 years, besides witnessing various important political changes as well as turbulent times. The House is adorned with the portraits of different tall leaders, and today the portrait of the late DMK leader and former Chief Minister M. Karunanidhi will add to the array of the pictorial displays. The function will be presided over by Governor Banwarilal Purohit in presence of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin. Jai Singh, AR News, Chennai.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch E-Rupee, a cashless and contactless instrument for digital payment today through video conferencing. Mr. Modi has always championed digital initiatives. E-Rupee, a person and purpose-specific digital payment solution, is a QR code or SMS string-based e-voucher which is delivered to the mobile of the beneficiaries. A report.
E-Rupee has been developed by National Payments Corporation of India on its UPI platform in collaboration with the Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and National Health Authority. The users of this seamless one-time payment mechanism will be able to redeem the voucher without a card, digital payments app or internet banking access at the service provider. Over the years, several programs have been launched to ensure that the benefits reach its intended beneficiaries in a targeted and leak-proof manner with a limited limited touch points between the government and the beneficiary. The concept of electronic voucher takes forward this vision of good governance. It's a revolutionary initiative in the direction of ensuring a leak-proof delivery of welfare services. It can also be used for delivering services under schemes meant for providing drugs and nutritional support under mother and child welfare schemes, TB eradication programs, drugs and diagnostics under schemes like Ayushman Bharat, Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana and fertilizer subsidies. The private sector can also leverage these digital vouchers as part of their employee welfare on corporate social responsibility programs. Ravi Kumar, AIR News Desk.
Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai, who is in Delhi, has said that a meeting will be held with the party high command today evening on the expansion of his cabinet. Mr. Bommai assumed charge as Chief Minister of the state on July the 28th, succeeding B.S. Yediyurappa, who stepped down due to the age factor after completing 2 years in office. Chief Minister Bommai arrived in Delhi yesterday night to discuss the cabinet expansion, saying all the legislators know that everyone cannot be inducted into the cabinet. The Chief Minister said a basic formula based on performance, region-wise representation and experience is evolved to decide on likely legislators who will be made ministers in his cabinet. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah will virtually join the different events to mark 5 years of the Vijay Rupani government in Gujarat. The government has planned a week-long celebration starting today. Shri Vijay Rupani had taken over as Chief Minister of Gujarat in August 2016 after the resignation of Anandiben Patel. AIR Ahmedabad correspondent reports that a series of functions and events have been planned during the week-long celebrations. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
The aim of the celebrations of 5 years of Vijay Rupani government in Gujarat is to reach out to the various sections of the society before the forthcoming state assembly elections are scheduled to be held in December next year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually participate in the Unutsav tomorrow, in which he will interact with the beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana in the state. The state government has planned to distribute a kit of 5 kg food grains to around 4.25 lakh poor people from 17,000 fair price shops. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will virtually participate in Vikas Divas event on 7th of this month. The main function will be held at the Mahatma Mandir in Gandhinagar, during which the development projects worth of 5,000 crore will be launched or inaugurated, including housing for poor people. Other events, including Rozgar Divas on 6th and Shahri Jan Sukhakari Divas on 8th, will mark the launch of new welfare schemes. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Both houses of parliament adjourned till 2 p.m. following disruptions by the opposition over Pegasus snooping and farm laws. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch E-Rupee, a cashless and contactless instrument for digital payment this afternoon. Prime Minister to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana in Gujarat tomorrow through video conferencing. President Ramnath Kovind visits Chennai on a 5-day tour of Tamil Nadu. The 10-day monsoon session of Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly begins. India takes over UN Security Council presidency for August. More than 47 crore 22 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. National COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 97.35%. Educational institutions reopen in several states today. And in Tokyo Olympics, Indian women's hockey team scripts history today by qualifying for the Olympic Games semi-finals for the first time. And India's Kamalpreet Kaur to participate in the final of women's discus throw at Tokyo Games this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back to the Midday News. The Health Ministry has said that more than 49 crore 64 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far. It said that further 9,84,610 doses are in the pipeline. The ministry added that more than 3 crore 14 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories and private hospitals to be administered. More than 47 crore 22 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Union Health Ministry said more than 17 lakh vaccine doses were administered during the last 24 hours. The recovery rate is now at 97.35%. More than 36,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. Till now, more than 3 crore 8 lakh 57,000 people have recovered from COVID-19. India reported over 40,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. 422 deaths have been reported during the same period. Tamil Nadu and Karnataka authorities have imposed restrictions on people's movement to their respective states at the interstate border with Kerala. This is in view of the continuing rise of COVID-19 cases in Kerala, which has shown no signs of abatement.
Educational institutions reopened in several states today. Punjab government has allowed the reopening of schools for all classes from today as it further relaxed restrictions in view of declining COVID-19 cases. The state government has allowed the reopening of schools for classes 10th to 12th from July 26th. They have been asked to follow proper protocols to ensure COVID-19 appropriate behavior. District authorities will continue to ensure strict implementation of all directives on COVID appropriate behavior. Amid significant improvement in corona situation in Chhattisgarh, offline classes are starting in schools from today with certain conditions. More from our correspondent.
In Chhattisgarh, the state government has decided to start offline classes in schools in those districts where the corona positivity rate is limited to 1% in the last 7 days. At present, along with 10th and 12th, classes from 1st to 5th and 8th will be conducted. The classes of 6th, 7th, 9th and 11th will be conducted online for the time being. Meanwhile, the situation of the corona infection in Chhattisgarh is continuously improving. Large-scale testing is also being carried out to identify new corona-infected patients in the state. So far, about 1 crore 14 lakh samples have been tested in the state. Active cases of COVID-19 are also decreasing rapidly in the state. At present, the number of active patients in the state is about 1,900. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
In Uttarakhand, schools have been opened for classes 9th to 12th in person with COVID protocol. Our correspondent reports that all private and government schools have been sanitized before opening today. As per reports, the school administration has been asked to clean and sanitize the classes, labs, libraries and other places in school to prevent pandemic across the state. Schools have been asked to ensure social distancing in the school. However, the attendance of students was limited as schools opened today after a long time due to the pandemic. Uttar Pradesh government has decided to open the schools in state from 16th of August. Special vaccination camps will be organized in colleges for those students who are above 18 years of age.
The decision to open the schools was taken in a high-level meeting of senior officers of the state with Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. It was decided that the schools can open with 50% capacity of students and with strict adherence to COVID guidelines. The school administration will be responsible for the sanitization of classrooms and following of other social distancing norms. The admission process will start from 5th of August in the state. First class will be held in all schools on 15th August on the occasion of Independence Day with organizing the Amrit Mahotsav in a grand manner. From next day on 16th August, the classes and study will begin. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath ordered to start the admission process for graduate students since all the results of various boards have been declared. Chief Minister also instructed to start the graduate classes from 1st of September. The schools in the state have been closed for more than 4 months after the outbreak of second wave of COVID infection. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
To boost the morale of the players in the Tokyo Olympics, good wishes are pouring in from all across the country under the Cheer for India campaign. On day 10 of Tokyo Olympics 2021, the Indian women's hockey team scripted history today by qualifying for the Olympic Games semi-finals for the first time. India stunned three-time champions Australia by a solitary goal in the biggest upset of the Olympics. A report.
The world number 9 Indian women's side entered into the history books with a phenomenally gritty performance. Indian men's team also entered the Olympic semi-finals following a 49-year gap yesterday. The odds stacked against the Indian women's hockey team as world number 2 Australia, a mighty unbeaten opponent, awaited them in the last 4 rounds. But the Indians, determined to prove a point, produced a strong and brave performance to eke out the narrow win over the Hockeyroos. Drag flicker Gurjeet Kaur rose to the occasion when it mattered and converted India's lone penalty corner in the 22nd minute to surprise the Australians. India's best performance in the Olympics came way back in 1980 Moscow Games, where they finished 4th out of 6 teams. In that edition of the Games, women's hockey made its debut in the Olympics and sport was played in a round-robin format with 2 top teams qualifying for the final. The Rani Rampal-led side will play Argentina in the semi-final on Wednesday. Aarti Rana, Sports Desk.
Youth Affairs and Sports and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today congratulated the Indian hockey teams. Speaking to media outside Parliament, Mr. Thakur said they gave splendid performances. He wished them all the best on behalf of 135 crore Indians for forthcoming important games. He also congratulated PV Sindhu, who won the bronze medal yesterday, and Mirabai Chanu, who won silver earlier.
पीवी संधू जी ने जो कांस्य पदक जीता, उससे पहले मीराबाई चानू जी ने जीता, लवलीना ने शानदार प्रदर्शन किया, तो उम्मीदें भारत की ओर बंधी हैं और मुझे खुशी इस बात की है कि भारत की बेटियों ने अब तक 2 मेडल जीतकर दिखाए हैं.
Law and Justice Minister Kiren Rijiju also congratulated Indian hockey teams participating in Tokyo Olympics. Talking to media outside Parliament, he said men and women hockey teams are now 2 steps away from victory. Men's team is playing in the semi-finals after 49 years.
बहुत बड़ा मूवमेंट है. ये बहुत कम होते हैं जब किसी देश का दोनों पुरुष और महिला हॉकी जैसे गेम में सेमीफाइनल पहुंचना, ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात होती है और देश के लिए बहुत ही गौरवान्वित करने वाला ये पल है. ये उम्मीद तो बहुत अच्छा है, आगे भी उम्मीद रखेंगे कि हमारा टीम अच्छा परफॉर्म करेगा.
Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik also congratulated the Indian men's and women's hockey teams for storming into the semi-finals of Tokyo Olympics. Expressing his joy over the Indian men's team's spectacular victory over Great Britain and women's team's thumping victory over Australia in their respective quarterfinals, the Chief Minister expressed hope that both the teams will keep up the momentum to win both the semis and the Olympic final. It may be recalled that Odisha government is the sponsor of Indian hockey team, both men and women, for 5 years since 2018. Odisha, being the cradle of hockey, is also the only state that is promoting the national game in the entire country to help India regain its dominance in global hockey. India's Kamalpreet Kaur will compete in the women's discus throw final at 4:30 p.m. this evening at the Tokyo Olympics. She is hoping to become the first Indian to win a medal in athletics at the Olympics. With a 64-meter throw in the qualifying round, Kaur automatically qualified for the medal event. Other athletes to qualify automatically was Valerie Allman of the United States with a throw of 66.42 meters. Indian sprinter Duti Chand ran her season's best but still failed to qualify to the semi-finals of women's 200 meters as she clocked a time of 23.85 seconds to finish last in the heat this morning. In shooting, Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar and Sanjeev Rajput failed to qualify in men's 50-meter rifle 3 positions. India's only equestrian at the Olympics in over 2 decades, Fawad Mirza, was placed 22nd after the cross-country round yesterday. A good round in the individual show jumping qualifier at 1:30 p.m. will ensure that remain in the top 25 and make the event individual jumping final at 5:15 this evening. Indian wrestling contingent will begin their Tokyo Olympics campaign tomorrow at the Makuhari Messe Hall in Tokyo. The 7-member wrestling squad includes Bajrang Punia, Vinesh Phogat, Seema Bisla, Sonam Malik, Anshu Malik, Ravi Kumar Dhaya and Deepak Punia. The draws for their matches are yet to be made, as they will be made one day prior to their events.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today expressed optimism that 130 crore Indians will continue to work hard to ensure India reaches new heights as it celebrates its Amrit Mahotsav. In a series of tweets, the Prime Minister said, multiple happenings which are heartening to every Indian have been seen as India enters August, which marks the beginning of the Amrit Mahotsav. There has been record vaccination and the high GST numbers also signal robust economic activity. He added that not only has ace shuttler PV Sindhu won a well-deserved medal, but the country also saw historic efforts by the men's and women's hockey team at the Olympics. In the run-up to Independence Day, we bring you stories on sectors which have made major impact on the lives of citizens. In this series, today we bring you a report on Atmanirbhar Bharat. Self-Reliant India, or Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, is the vision of New India envisaged by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On 12th May last year, Mr. Modi had raised a clarion call to the nation, giving a kick-start to the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and announced the special economic and comprehensive package of 20 lakh crore rupees, equivalent to 10% of India's GDP, to fight the COVID-19 pandemic in India. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has paid tribute to the designer of the Indian flag and a great freedom fighter Pingali Venkaiah on his birth anniversary today. Mr. Naidu said that he was a true Gandhian and a zealous patriot. Mr. Naidu added that the nation will always be grateful to Pingali Venkaiah for giving us the national flag.
India took over the presidency of the United Nations Security Council for the month of August. External Affairs Ministry said India's vision has been steered by dialogue and cooperation, mutual respect and commitment to international law. In its presidency, India will be guided by the principles of transparency, credibility, accountability and effectiveness. Maritime security, peacekeeping and counter-terrorism will be the focus areas for India during its presidency, the ministry said. As a founding member of the UN, India is committed to multilateralism, rule of law and fair and equitable international system. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is predicted to have cloudy sky with heavy rain. Temperature will rise from a minimum of 27 to a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain and temperature will hover between 25 to 31 degrees. Chennai, with a likely cloudy sky and light rain, will have a maximum temperature of 35 degrees. It recorded a minimum of 27. Kolkata may have a generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. It had a minimum temperature of 27 degrees, maximum expected to be around 35. Srinagar will experience a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 19 and 30 degrees. Jammu will also have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Leh is likely to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Gilgit also will have a generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Temperature will hover between 21 and 32 degrees Celsius. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Both houses of parliament adjourned till 2 p.m. following disruptions by opposition over Pegasus snooping and farm laws. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to launch E-Rupee, a cashless and contactless instrument for digital payment this afternoon. Prime Minister to interact with beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana in Gujarat tomorrow through video conferencing. President Ramnath Kovind reaches Chennai on a 5-day tour of Tamil Nadu. 10-day monsoon session of Himachal Pradesh Legislative Assembly begins. India takes over UN Security Council presidency for August. More than 47 crore 22 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. National COVID-19 recovery rate stands at 97.35%. Educational institutions reopen in several states today. And in Tokyo Olympics, Indian women's hockey team scripted history today by qualifying for Olympic Games semi-finals for the first time, and India's Kamalpreet Kaur to participate in the final of women's discus throw at Tokyo Games this evening. And with that, we end the midday news.